Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Andrew.
Welcome to episode 176 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week we have somebody on who is a dear listener. We actually met on the Disney Wish about a year ago. They were taking an exciting cruise for, I think it was, Andrew, the first time without your kids?
First time.
That's amazing. We may have done that once or twice.
Yes, a couple.
Well, you guys have done all sorts of really neat things here recently, including you were on the Disney Wonder out of San Diego, and we can't wait to hear about that because you actually hit a port of call on the West Coast that we've never been to. You went to Catalina.
Well, we were supposed to go to Catalina.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but there were high winds, so we didn't actually. We got to wave at Catalina.
Got it. So Catalina Island is the castaway key of the Pacific.
Yes.
Yep.
Sometimes you can get on, sometimes you can't. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we'll forgive you. We have some other things to talk about too. Yeah. So let's get started. What was your Disney history? Was the mouse a big part of life while you were growing up?
It was not. I'm a late bloomer, as it were. I'm sure I watched some of the movies, but it wasn't like a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
My wife, on the other hand, is super into Disney. She went 4 or 5 times as a kid. She always went to Disney World because we're originally from Massachusetts.
Okay.
So she got the chance to go a few times when she was a kid and just always loved it. And so we were a young married couple. We had our kids. And she wanted to do a Disney trip with the kids. And I was like, all right, well, I'll be the dad. I'm there to drive places and carry stuff and whatever, but it's for the kids.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved it. Loved it. I mean, we were, it was right after the Frozen craze. And I remember standing in, I think Frozen Parade was in Hollywood Studios at that point. And I remember standing in August in Florida, just absolutely sweating during the Frozen Parade, holding 2 kids in both arms and just absolute core memory stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I was hooked from there. And we've done Disney World trips, we've done Disneyland trips, we've done Disney cruises now. It feels like we do other trips besides Disney, but it's a big part of our lives. And them getting Marvel and Star Wars under the umbrella too, just really spoke to me too. I'm a huge Marvel guy. And so I was absolutely hooked from there. So it wasn't until I was in my 30s I went for the first time and can't get enough.
That's
nice.
Awesome. How many kids do you all have?
So we have 5. 4 are still living with us. 1 is grown up and has moved off. So we have 4 still in the house, all a bit older now. So they're ranging ages from 21 to 12.
Got it.
Okay. Was this your first cruise on the Wonder?
It was the first cruise on the Wonder.
Okay.
We have not done any repeat boats. So this is our 4th cruise, and they've all been on different boats.
Okay. Have you been on the Magic before?
We did the Magic as our first.
Okay.
That was the first one.
So you're used to the smaller ships.
Yeah, so we did the Magic, and then we did the Fantasy because just go to the opposite side of the screen. Then we did the Wish, and then this one was the Wonder.
Awesome.
Love it.
And you drove from Arizona to San Diego.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Fun little drive. You get to go through Yuma, not too hilly. It's really cool. There's one part of the drive where you go. It's 40 minutes, and you go from almost 5,000 feet in elevation down to 0, or vice versa, depending on which direction you're going. And you're literally in absolute sand dunes, and then you're in it's pine trees and mountain forest and stuff like that.
Wow.
It's kind of a cool drive. But yeah, we drove in from Phoenix.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Alicia does not want me to have more road trip ideas in my head.
How long was the drive?
It's just under 6 hours,
Okay.
no stops. So, we do 3 or 4 stops, so it's 7.5 hours.
Did you drive the day ahead then?
Yeah, we drove in the day ahead.
Okay. Where did you stay?
We stayed at the Wyndham Bayside in San Diego, which absolutely nailed that as the place to stay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we stayed there, and then they emailed me a few days before, and they're like, "You have upgrades available. Would you like a bay view window?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would." So we got in there the night before, and then what was really cool was I got up early to go to the gym at the hotel, and when I got back, I was like, I still hadn't seen the boat, and so I went to the front desk, and I was like, "Is the boat coming in? Like, where does it come in on this?" And she's like, "It's coming in right now." So I ran up to our room and I opened the blinds and I shake my youngest, the 12-year-old. I'm like, Nick, come here, look at this. And you can literally just see the boat pulling in right there towards your window. So Wyndham Bayside, absolutely recommend it. It was a good stay.
That's so cool. I remember we had, I think it was our first cruise out of San Diego, and we stayed the same place. And literally our balcony, and we had the bay view, our balcony and window was directly like dead across from where the ship came in. Like it was pointing, you couldn't get more symmetrically perfect.
Yeah.
Right. It was so cool to watch the ship come in.
I think we landed like if the elevator hallway, like if you're walking down the elevator hallway, you're walking towards the boat. And we were like one hallway off of that. Like that was like where our room was. Like we're right next to the elevator. So like, we felt like we were dead center too.
There's
so
nothing
awesome.
like opening the curtains and seeing the ship right there.
I immediately went over and brewed the coffee in the room. Like I don't usually do that. I usually like to go and like grab Starbucks, but I'm like, no, I'm sitting right here on the balcony and watching this.
Excellent. So what was embarkation like there in San Diego? That's not one of their, usual spot. I mean, it is a usual spot, but it's not one of their permanent locations.
Yeah.
How did it go for you? Was it smooth?
It was crazy smooth. So we got our embarkation time was 11:40.
Okay.
And like everything on there was like, do not show up before 11:40. You cannot show up before 11:40. And checkout time is at 11. And like everybody there is going on the cruise, which was really fun because like the night before we're all at dinner and everybody's in cruise gear. So it was sort of like this like pre-cruise atmosphere, right? So like 11:15, the lobby is just full of people getting ready to go on the boat, and we're all just sitting there like, I gotta go. So we finally walked over just at like 11:31, 11:32. We're like, all right, forget it. Let's go. Let's cut across. So walk literally across the street to embarkation point. And there's a guy out there who like looks at your port arrival form, and they're like, come on in, we're taking all times. And I'm like, okay. Walk up, drop off our bags at the port handlers. They grab it for us. We walk inside, and it literally felt like zero weight all the way to seeing Ariel in the main main
awesome.
room. We were behind like two people for the original like sort of like port entry form check.
Yeah.
Then we walked right into the customs line. It was right to where you want to show your passports, everything else like that. There was zero weight there. And then we walked up the escalator, down the gangway, up. They announced us. I think we had like two people in front of us there, announced us, walked in, and we were there. We were probably in motion for like maybe 10 minutes, it felt like, from our like the hotel lobby into the main lobby of the ship.
That's incredible.
It was. I have never seen anything like it. It was unbelievably fast.
What were your first thoughts getting into the main atrium there?
Oh, so, okay. Like, every time I go on a cruise, you have that sort of like same feeling. It's like, is this the best vacation? Because I think this is the best vacation.
Yes.
It's just like instant relaxation. It's like instant. But like going into the main lobby. So the last boat I went on was the Wish. Yeah. I love the Wish's main lobby. I love it. The Wonder is shaped like the Magic, I think, and you guys know more about this, so if I'm spouting nonsense, tell me. But it's shaped like that. The main lobby is not as grand as the Wish, but it has those like cool elevators, which are like fun to look at. I think they're a traffic nightmare, but they're fun to look at. Yeah. The Ariel statue, I don't know how Disney does these with these statues, right? Like they have these like, you think like you hear about, okay, there's gonna be like this like bronze-ish statue of Ariel in the main lobby, and you're like, I don't know how that's gonna look. It looks amazing. Yes. Like it's just wonderful. Triton's restaurant is right there, and that's got really cool decor next to it, the big grand piano and stuff and all that. And like, you know, obviously, like you've got the really well-tuned Disney cast members, right, who are just there, smiles, ear to ear, greeting you, and just so happy. And yeah, like it was. I think because embarkation was so smooth, there wasn't like a ton of like it wasn't a glut of people, so it really did felt smooth from 7 a.m. when the rest of the family woke up, right on through to the main lobby. It was 100% vacation mode. So yeah, no, we loved it. I know it got dry docked fairly recently, as far as cruise ships go.
I think it was last year. The Magic and the Wonder, because they're now older than 25 years, I think that's the boundary. They have to go in for a dry dock every 3 years.
Yeah.
The newer ships only have to do every 5, but it's regulations. They as we get older, ships and people, we have to go to the doctor a little bit more often. So.
Yeah, so I mean, like it wasn't like it is an older boat. It wasn't run down. It wasn't like it was.
Yeah.
It was just really, 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 really nice.
Yeah, we've done some cruise ship tours in port here in Seattle, and I will say I've seen nearly brand new boats or excuse me, ships, whatever, from other cruise lines that are maybe like 3 or 4 year old ships, and they look worse for wear than the 25 plus year old Magic and Wonder do. It's incredible how well Disney takes care of their ships.
It's true.
What'd you guys do when you got on board? Did you do lunch? Did you tour the ship a little? What'd you do?
We went straight to lunch.
Okay.
We were all starving. We did get a little bit of breakfast. Shout out to there's like a little breakfast bakery shop right next to the port. Super reasonable prices, really good. They did good by me. So yeah, we went straight to lunch, and I mean, like, there's just no bad places to eat food on a Disney cruise boat. Right?
Yeah.
But we did do the sit down lunch, and we did it at Tiana's.
Okay.
Perfect. That is the best way to start off the cruise.
Yes.
It's nice and relaxing.
We like the sit downs.
Yeah, we love the sit downs. There's just too many people up in cabanas or Marceline. It's
It is. Like, I don't like. I think the food is actually really good up there, but especially on embarkation day, that place is just a crowded nightmare. Usually, now I didn't go up there today, and embarkation was really smooth, so maybe it's not as bad. But yeah, no, we opted for the sit down. We took our time, and it was definitely well worth it.
Yeah. Where was your room? What kind of accommodations do you have?
We had 2 staterooms because we were traveling with 6 people total.
Okay.
Well, 2 things before I jump into that.
Yeah.
One, the night before, we got up to our hotel room, and this is when I realized that I have left an entire suitcase behind.
Oh, no.
So if you ever want to just start out on the right foot, leave behind the suitcase with all of the Mickey ears. That's really the one. Yeah, that was great. So we did that, and then so we get to our rooms, and we were on deck 6, midway between midship and forward, I think.
Okay.
And we had a veranda.
Okay.
This is the second thing we realized here is that so every cruise boat we've been on, like I mentioned, I have 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
So we always have the bunk bed that pulls down from the top, and that's really cool. Fun fact: there are rooms that don't have the bunk bed.
Yep.
So since we were traveling with 6 people, we split the accommodations 3 in one and 3 in the other. So they put us in a room that didn't have a bunk bed, and I was like, I really wanted the bunk bed.
Yeah.
So we had to make some adjustments for that, but yeah, loved it. The veranda is always sort of like a tricky question for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know that I really use a veranda enough to it warrant the extra money. Like, you want to say oh, maybe just an inside stateroom is enough because you're not spending a ton of time in your room. Do you really need a veranda? But I'll tell you, those moments where you do get to use it are just so nice. The ability to have a second sitting area that isn't in that main, the one main couch.
Yeah.
I've really just come to value. And so I think we'll stick with veranda rooms for that reason. But I've been on the fence. But that's what we had. We had a veranda this time.
I think we've had the same conversation. We're typically always a veranda room. And I think if we're in a brand new ship where we just want to go see and experience everything on the ship, I think we could probably do an ocean view or an inside and be okay. But if we're on, especially a longer cruise, if we're on a ship we've been on, like the Wonder, we've literally spent 7 or 8 weeks of our lives on the Wonder over various trips. We're going to use the heck out of the veranda.
Yeah.
So I will kind of circle back on leaving the suitcase behind. I don't know if it's worse or better, but in 2013 we took our Panama Canal cruise on the Wonder. That's 2 of the weeks right there on the Wonder, and we flew into Miami from Seattle, and then got on the ship the next day, and we were unpacking. And I was unpacking the suitcases. I realized I had forgotten to put my whole stack of T-shirts in the suitcase.
Oh, God, it was dress shirts.
So all I had was polos and dress shirts for a 14-night cruise.
Because I spent a lot of time at main sales, a lot of time and money at main sales.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. We all make dumb mistakes. It's okay. We all survive.
Right. My wife was just happy it was me who left it because she got to blame me, right? Takes this thing out.
Makes the argument for making sure you have air tags in all your suitcases.
Right? Yeah, we got a little notification. Hey, you left this behind. Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay, so you were going to head off and hit, it's what, Ensenada and Catalina? Probably in the opposite order?
Yeah, opposite order. So we hit Catalina first, and then it was Ensenada.
Okay.
So yeah, we did the muster drill, which was fun. We got to stand right next to a family who this was their first Disney cruise.
Oh, nice.
They were just had so many questions. They're like, "I'm sorry to bother you," and I'm like, "No." On a Disney boat, we all like to talk about Disney ships.
Yes.
We all like to talk about Disney cruises. So just whatever questions you have, come at me. And my wife is standing there like a proud parent, right? Like, look what I've created. So yeah, we got to the muster drill, and then the boat sailed off. And so I don't know if you guys have ever sailed out of San Diego. The one thing I don't know, like, so we actually got unlucky when it came to weather, and that's like what talking about Catalina.
Yeah.
It was like 70s and sunny the week before, and
Right.
when we got off, it was 70s and sunny, but it was like 50s and rainy for us.
Yeah.
And the seas I found were like super choppy. And I remember like the first time when I was on the Magic, I was like, man, you can really feel it. Like you can really feel this thing move. And like, it took some getting used to it. I didn't get seasick or anything, but like,
Right.
you could really feel it. And then I got on the Fantasy and I couldn't feel that thing move at all.
Right.
We really felt the boat move. And my wife was saying, she's like, I don't know if we're going to get off at Catalina because that's like one of those tender ports. So
Yes.
you can't, like,
Yes.
if the winds are too high. It wasn't. But yeah, we hit Catalina first, and then we were supposed to go to Ensenada.
Did you have anything booked in Catalina that you missed?
We didn't. We didn't book any off-score excursions.
Okay.
Mostly because, so we're traveling with two of my kids. And one of the kids, this was sort of, so, okay. All right. Little backstory. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just drop lore.
It's okay.
I'm very open.
We love
to
it.
people. So, the four kids that live in my house, two of them we brought to Taylor Swift. And
Okay.
two of them, one didn't want to go and the other one wanted to go, but wasn't in like a mental place to do that.
Yeah.
And suffering a lot with a lot of anxiety. We tried like a local concert to see like if he could do it, and he was like, absolutely not. So
Yeah.
but he's been working a lot with his doctors and stuff like that, and he's gotten a lot better. So this was sort of like, hey, buddy, sorry you couldn't go to that, but you can get to this. But he still has a lot of anxiety, so he really wasn't wanting to get off the boat. He was thinking about like maybe we'll try it, but because of that, we didn't book any off-score excursions.
Got it. Well, we'll ask more about Catalina maybe next time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because I don't know if the seas were only choppy that once, so we got to go again.
Well, you got to test.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. No one could tell me that.
The Magic and the Wonder, I mean, they're not small, but they are smaller than the other ships. Right. I think so. Naturally, physics says they're going to be a little bit more susceptible to some of the movement. I've never, I've felt the bigger ships move just as much as the smaller ships in our experience. I do think time of year gets to be a little bit fun, and where you are. I mean, typically the Pacific is a little bit rougher than what you get in the Caribbean and the Bahamas.
Yeah. Right.
So that is something, for those of you wondering of, oh no, do I not want to go on a smaller ship? Well, I don't know the size. I think it's just time of year and luck and where you are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it wasn't like crazy choppy on the ship. It wasn't like every once in a while, like maybe once or twice a day, you could like feel it in your hips.
yeah,
But it's not like we're sitting there like, oh my goodness, like nothing.
yeah.
Did you guys hit Palo at all when you were on the ship?
So this is the first time I've ever dined at Palo.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh.
did you do brunch or dinner?
We
or
did
both?
brunch. We did
Okay.
brunch. So we did brunch on the Ensenada day. And the Ensenada day was the one day we knew we wanted to get off, because the other reason we were on this was my other child, the one who wasn't suffering with anxiety, turned 18. He turned 18 the day we got on the boat.
Okay.
So like he got to like get his card checked in all the adult areas. Which
Yeah.
He wanted to get off in Mexico because you can drink in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes. We may have done that with our daughter in Jamaica last year,
I
or
love
2
it.
years ago.
I love it. But we could only get into Palo on that day for brunch. So we're like, okay, we'll get up, we'll do brunch, and then we'll hit Ensenada right after. So we did Palo brunch on the Ensenada day. cannot say enough about that restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. I don't remember where I heard. It might have been from you two on one of your podcasts, or it might have been somewhere else. I don't remember. But somebody saying, like, it's a lot of food. It's a lot of food.
Yes.
And like when you're looking at the menu, you realize it's a lot of food, and you try not to order a lot of food, and it's a lot of food. But yeah, it was really, 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 really great. And all of the 5 adults went. There was one who was too young; he didn't go, but we had 5 people at the table.
That's great. Yeah, we have probably been at Palo, I don't know, at least a dozen times, I'd say.
Yeah.
We don't hit it on every cruise, but I'd say most we do. Yeah. And we'll say those 12 or 14 times, I think our most recent cruise on the Treasure just a few months ago was the first time we got up from the table at Palo and said to ourselves, we don't feel horrible and stuffed and sick that we ate too much. So it takes practice. So Andrew, you just have to keep practicing on these things.
I do. I'll tell you this. I think Palo is a must hit for me. Like every from here on out, every time I get on one of these, I think I'm gonna have to hit Palo.
You've done the brunch. You're gonna have to do dinner too.
Yeah.
I mean, brunch is my favorite. I think dinner is Nathan's favorite.
Yeah. Dinner's my favorite.
Both of them are delicious.
Oh yeah. I mean, what is a favorite anyway? I mean,
I'm not like a breakfast food guy. Like eggs are fine. I don't really get in for waffles and pancakes and stuff like that. But man, everything they put in front of me here, they're like somebody ordered the omelet at the table and I tried that and like it's incredible. Like I couldn't rave enough about that place, and the wait staff was so nice.
Yeah,
it was really, really, really a good time. It's a must hit for me from now on, I think.
Did you try the pizza by any chance?
Did try the pizza. So my son who turned 18 there, pizza is one of his main food groups. It's pizza and McDonald's. And I was worried about it because he tends to sort of like prefer very like made out of a box kind of foods, right? Like he doesn't get in it for dining, right? Like he wants the repeatable experience. So like I knew that wasn't what he was going to get, but he tried so much on that, and including the pizza, and he raved about the pizza. I raved about the pizza. The pizza is amazing, and I think it's unfair that you have one kitchen staff who does an omelet that well, a pizza that well, and a steak that well. Like it's just like can we be at least mediocre in one thing? That would be great. Could we have one mediocre course?
Not there. No, not there.
No, like I had like a celery soup, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people about the soup course.
Now I want Palo. Oh my gosh.
We should have had dinner before we recorded, Alicia.
Oops.
Oops. What were kind of like some of your highlights on board? It sounds like this was mostly an onboard and enjoy the ship kind of trip. What'd you get up to?
Yeah, so like every night sort of like had different parts of it, right? Like I think the last night the waitstaff asked, what was the moment for you on this trip? Like what was the best thing? And I go back to getting off the boat and drinking with my son in Ensenada. Like it was like one of the reasons for the trip. It was really, really cool. I personally did not like the port. I didn't like Ensenada. I didn't like the stuff there. Yeah. But that was really, 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 really cool.
Yeah.
This was a boat. This was an experience. I'm going to keep saying boat. I'm going to get in trouble for this. This was a cruise where I got to get a drink at just about every place that could serve drinks on there. Yeah. And it was so cool. It was so cool. And a lot of places I tried different things. Like I went down like the French Quarter Lounge. I ordered a Bloody Mary for the first time in my life. I never drink a Bloody Mary. I'm not like a big like tomato juice guy. But I'm drinking it and I'm talking and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is like, I think they're usually made with rum or something like that. And I say that and she's like, actually, this one, we make it with bourbon. And I'm like, no. And I drink it and I'm like, it's so good. And so like the first night I went out with my brother-in-law. He was one of the people who were traveling with us. And we like almost closed down Cadillac Lounge. We met this couple from Hawaii and like spent like an hour talking to them. Yeah. The next night I closed down another bar with my wife and it was just her and I just talking all night long. I got to do there was sort of like a lot of little individual points on the ship that made just like it was just little pixie dust sprinklings here and there that was really, really, really great.
Yeah. So one thing, and I would be, our friends would get on us if I didn't mention this rather, at Palo on especially the Magic and Wonder, and I think the Fantasy and Dream as well. It was originally set up to have a buffet, and there's a bar space like right next to, like you can like look at them cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, it's not like that on the Wish class ships.
Okay,
but there is a bar. You can go in without a reservation for like brunch time and order the Palo Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we have heard that we are not Bloody Mary drinkers ourselves, but we have heard that the Palo Bloody Mary is second to none.
Okay. I'm gonna have to definitely try that.
There you go.
I still don't know if I'm a Bloody Mary fan, but I'm at least a Disney Bloody Mary.
There you go.
So your 12-year-old, while you were off gallivanting in Palo and other things, had, they were in Edge, I would imagine at 12. They've been on other Disney ships, right?
Yeah. They went the other two that weren't the Wish. They went on the Magic and the Fantasy.
Magic and the Fantasy. So let's talk about what did they think about the Edge and the Kids Club experience on the Wonder?
Yep.
Fairly similar to what it is on the Magic on the smaller ship. And then I'd love to hear, did you get any thoughts on like Fantasy versus Wonder? Because there's very different spaces, especially in size and room.
Yeah. So about the Kids Club. So the 12-year-old didn't spend a ton of time in the Kids Clubs, mostly because it's not like his jam. That being said, he spent a lot more time on this one than he did in the other ones. When we went on the Fantasy, he just like was attached to our hips the whole time.
Got it.
This time, like he had no problem going in. He'll go in, he'll check it out. What's going on? Is it cool? He made some friends. He liked it. But then so he is our food baby. He just loves food. He loves all things. My wife is not a big seafood person.
Okay.
But he loves seafood. So when he can go to Cabanas and get some shrimp and bring it down to the veranda and sit on the veranda, like that is his happy place. Like my wife ordered him a robe to get delivered to the room. Yeah. And like all he could talk about was, I'm going to go to Cabanas. I'm going to get a plate of shrimp. I'm coming down to the veranda. I'm going to put my robe on and I'm going to draw and I'm going to eat my shrimp. And so he's like 45, but we love it.
That sounds like a perfect day.
But yeah, and like, he like I said, like he was someone who, really struggles with anxiety, and he didn't have a problem reaching out to people on the boat or on the ship and talking to people on the cruise and, getting to meet people. And the people at Edge are just like so nice. Like, yeah. Everybody who we've talked to in the kids clubs, and we've done, a lot of times in a lot of the kids clubs, and all of them are just, I don't know how they don't walk around like total zombies out of pure exhaustion.
Yes.
But they are like the nicest, most energetic people. And so like, it was when we first did the Magic, those kids clubs were the reason why we knew we wanted to come back on Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing for us. It was so great.
Yep.
And so, we didn't experience too much of it this time around, but that was really great. And then in terms of like comparing the two comparing the two boats, comparing the
you had it right. It's fine.
Comparing the two ships. The one thing I remember from the Fantasy more than anything else was just how much walking we did. And it was a lot of walking. That one, we had 3 staterooms, but we only did 2 attached. Okay. Because another person booked separately, didn't link, and everything else. And so there was a good amount of travel for that. And just in general, like there's just a lot of walking.
Yep.
And like even the theater that's at Forward, is that always called is that Walt Disney
Theater?
Yeah. Okay. That theater, it's like cozy on the Magic and the Wonder. On the Fantasy, that is like gigantic. That's it's like stadium seating in that thing. It's really big.
Yeah. So
there is like an epic feel to it, and like there is so much room. I will say, like, it felt to me, and I know this cruise was booked out. Like they said that like all the staterooms are full.
Right.
I felt like the Magic at times felt crowded. Fantasy never did. The Fantasy never felt crowded. This one, the Wonder also did not feel crowded. Like, we spent a good amount of time walking around up on Deck 9. It's not like we were just in the adult areas. Like, we were walking around, even in cabanas. Like, there was no massive lines at cabanas. There wasn't like a traffic jam at cabanas. It didn't feel like super crowded. So to me, the Wonder kind of felt like sort of like that middle ground, right? Where you have the closeness of the smaller boats. But you still have that. I don't know why. I don't know why, because I still feel like it has the traffic problems the Magic does. Yeah. But it felt more spread out. It felt like people got around better on there overall.
It's the same layout. The Magic and Wonder are the exact same layout. It's just spaces are themed differently or just renamed. That experience and how busy it can feel really depends on the time of year and whether kids are in school or not. Like, I will say, like, we've done the Panama Canal crossing twice, and both were on the Wonder, and those are typically very full in terms of room occupancy, but it's a lot of couples because it's a lot of older folks and there's not as many kids. And so the ship doesn't feel super busy because there's not as many kids. So
not a lot of kids, like maybe 100 kids. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You've been on the Magic, the Wonder, Fantasy, and the Wish.
Yes.
How do those types of ships compare differently? Like, what is your versus on those ships?
I like some of the change. Like, I don't remember all that well the differences in structural layout between the Fantasy and the Magic and Wonder class ships.
100%. It's I would say
it feels like it's just like scaled, right?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
A lot of the same traffic flows, a lot of the same. It doesn't feel like it's like very structurally different. It's just scaled, right?
Yep.
To me, the Wish, they made some decisions, and like decisions are apparent. Like I called out the midship elevators.
Yep.
Those aren't on the Wish. I love that. Those things were always a traffic jam for me. So hard to get on them. I didn't find that on the Wonder this time, but on the Magic I did.
Yeah.
And it shrunk that main lobby area. Whereas on the Wish, it is just theatrical as soon as you walk out to it. And you got the big balcony up there and all of that. And I love that layout. I feel like the Wish class ships, they're doing a better job of not clustering everything as much. So that way, like, if you're going to, even shops, like if you're going to shops, it's not like just one cluster of shops. It's like, we got some shops here, there's one up here, there's one over there. Yeah. Shops are a bad example because I don't love the shops on the Wish, the layout of the shops. But it's true for, like, all of the places you could get drinks and the restaurants too. I think that, like, the one place on the Wish that I did see a big traffic jam for me was lining up for the Marvel restaurant. Yeah. That was like a dead end that just like a bunch of people collided on until they opened the doors, and then it like got open and like But like traffic flow wise, it felt like that they took learnings from the other ships and were like, we're going to do better here. And overall, they did. Not everything was a grand slam, but a lot of the choices I felt like were really informed, and it showed that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. When was your first cruise?
Oh man, it must have been. I still lived in Massachusetts.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
Like 10 years ago.
Okay, got it. It's interesting because I think a lot of folks who frequent Disney Cruise Line before the Wish came out saw, I would say, at least initially, the opposite side of the coin of all of the things that you just talked about, and saw it as oh man, they changed this and we don't like it. Like they deleted the extra elevator bank. We don't like that. There isn't like a dedicated pocket for like all the nightclubs and venues and stuff like that. We don't like it. Right. And we were part of that class too. And the Wish, the first time we were on the Wish, I would say I was like, I lamented all of this stuff that was different. Yeah. And then the second time we were on the Wish is when we met y'all. We gained a new appreciation for that layout. And when we were on the Treasure a few months ago, It didn't phase me at all. Like it was other than the adult space on the Wish and the Wish class ships being stacked, like the adult pool and like the Cove Cafe and everything like that is just at the far end of nowhere. That there was a decision made there.
Yeah.
But everything else, like I'm really good with it. So it's interesting to hear
The different
different perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just perspectives and opinions. Nobody's right or wrong. It's really cool.
Yeah. The only time I really felt like, why did they do this way, is on the Wish. There's a shop in midship. I want to say it's on like deck 5 or something like that, and like it's just like along the wall, and it just goes for like 3 or 4 sections.
Yeah,
and that was just a travel nightmare. Like it was just stock full of merch that you could look at, and like people had nowhere to go, and trying to like get around it was like really, really hard. That was the only one where I was like, this is not good. This is not good.
No, that concur. Yes. Yes. So would you, you're going, I was going to say, would you cruise on Disney again? I know the answer to this. Yes.
Absolutely.
We'll get there. We'll get there later. Anything else about the cruise that we haven't talked about that you want to hit? I do have another topic to touch on with you, but I want to kind of close out the cruise.
Oh man. Let me see. The adult areas. I do like the adult area. Like it is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I loved all of the bartenders knew my name. Take from that what you will. But they were all great.
They know us too.
They were all great. Shout out to Wyan at the Cadillac Lounge. The Cadillac Lounge to me struck me as just kind of like, it's a weird decor choice. And like, I'm sure like back when they were constructing it, it probably made a ton more sense.
Yeah. Like
it felt a little strange at this point, but that being said, like, of course, like you go there and the drinks are phenomenal. And it's all so great.
Well, it's that whole Route 66 theme as you come down the lobby and you go down Route 66 and the Cadillac Lounge is at the end of it. So that's what they're leaning into. But I understand it is a like, oh, that's okay. That's a thing.
Cadillac. That's the car my grandfather drove. Like, okay, that's great. Got the old fashioned there, which was great. They deliver it in the box with all the smoke.
Yeah.
I Nathan, I believe I've heard you're into old fashions. I'll go on my little old fashioned spiel here for a minute. Shout out to the French Quarter Lounge too. I walked by the French Quarter Lounge the first day on the way to Tiana's, and I was just like, meh, I don't know, that's my thing. I don't know. But between the Bloody Mary that's made with bourbon, and then you order the old fashioned that's made with dark rum, I'm like, what is this? This is wonderful. I'm not a rum guy, but this is great. And the beignets there. Yeah. Beignets are amazing. Like this is the first time in my life I've had a beignet where I'm like, this is not a donut. This is a beignet. Like this is something else. This is something different. That was really great. Animator's Palette we haven't talked about, that has always been a restaurant on these ships. I love the decor there. It's that's always a highlight for us. So it was just it was a really, really, really great time all around. Wish we got off at Catalina, didn't get a chance to. Yeah. Ensenada, unless you really have a reason to get off.
The reason in Ensenada to get off is to go to Walmart and pick up whatever you may need. Another case of refreshments, we'll just call it.
Sure. My son was excited because we found a McDonald's, which is like right next to where the little shuttle drops you off. And like I mentioned, he has 2 food groups, right? Pizza and McDonald's. Right. He's like, we got to go to McDonald's. So right after we finished the 7 courses at Palo, he's like, I need to save room for McDonald's. And then we get off the boat and we go over and he gets his McNuggets. And it was a great time.
Wait. You're on a Disney Cruise Line ship. You have the best chicken tenders known to man, and you're going to go have chicken McNuggets?
And we definitely had the chicken tenders. We had a lot of those. But man, there is something about that kid with chicken nuggets.
Choices were made.
Choices were made. 100%.
So, all in all, I would go out of San Diego again. I would do that ship again.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
See, Alicia, we were just talking with Sam and Brian just a few days ago about this is the DCL duo, and Sam asked us what our favorite ship is, and I'm really struggling between the treasure and the wonder. And
It's a treasure for me.
see,
I love the wonder.
I am flapping in the
treasure for me.
breeze.
Yeah.
I could hear Alicia talk about the treasure. I'm like, yeah, it's the treasure. And then Andrew, the last half hour of this conversation, I'm just like, man, it's the wonder. I don't know what I'm thinking.
I do miss the wonder, but
If there's one other thing that I would say the Wonder does poorly in, it's
Yeah.
the rainforest room. The rainforest
Yeah.
room.
yes.
So, okay, and I've been on, this is my 4th cruise. The only rainforest room I did was the Wish. So when I walk into this one, I'm like, I don't think we're going to do the rainforest room.
No.
I don't think we're going to do that.
No, the Wish class ships blow the rainforest room out of
yeah.
the water, except for you don't see outside. That's
Yes, the
only
fantasy,
thing.
the Dream and the Fantasy, their rainforest room is probably, I don't know, maybe twice as big
Yeah.
of a space as what you see in the Magic and the Wonder. So it's not huge, but they have an outside. They have like a if you think about like 3 verandas or 3 rooms wide, maybe 4. They've got 2 hot tubs out there and a bunch of chairs. It's really relaxing, and it's outside. It's really nice.
But you can't beat the Wish for that rainforest room, honestly.
No,
I think
the Wish
that
class,
outdoor area is gorgeous.
100%.
We did do the tour at Senses Spa because we always do that tour.
Yeah.
So we had already had a couples massage booked at Senses Spa before we got on.
Yeah.
And then we did the tour, and it should not be like legal for them to show the couples villa on that tour. That thing sells. As soon as you walk in, they're like, and this is the
Yes.
couples villa. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
Yes.
great. They're like, yeah, you spend 2.5 hours in here. We go through, we do all of this stuff. And I'm like, that's incredible. So we're walking out. My wife is like, well, let's just ask. Maybe it's booked up. Maybe it's like crazy expensive. I'm like, I bet it's crazy expensive. And like I walk over there and I'm like, hey, we already have a couples massage booked. Could we upgrade it to the couples villa instead?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys have any openings, and I don't know how much it would be. And she's like, oh, it's like $100 per person extra. And like, yeah, we've got openings. And I was like, no.
Twist my arm.
So yeah, we booked that up, and that was absolutely great. We did that on, I think that was also Ensenada Day, because it was because it was Ensenada, and then it was, it was the at-sea day. Because after Ensenada, we have an at-sea day.
Got it.
And so it was the at-sea day. And we did it at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is like just nice. Like we walked out of there super relaxed, and we're like, all right, this is good. This is good.
I think we did that once, didn't we, Alicia?
The couples, yeah, I think we've done it a couple times.
You don't like getting massages.
I can't. I get migraines from massages. But
It's
if they could
because
do
you're so toxic, Alicia.
I know. If I could do a facial and you could do a massage, it'd be perfect.
It'd be great.
Yep. I did the bamboo massage. I looked at those and I was like, those look like those will hurt. We'll do that. That was great.
All right. Well, speaking of things that hurt, and this is kind of more on the wallet than a physical kind of pain.
Sure.
You were at Disneyland not too long ago as well.
Yes.
And you had mentioned, you'd shared with us offline that your family tried the Lightning Lane Premier Pass.
Oh yeah, we did.
You are the first folks that we have had a chance to actually talk to. I'm interested in what that experience was like.
It was interesting. It was a hard decision to make. So here's where we were. We bought Magic Key last year for Disneyland because it's one of those like bucket list things for my wife. She's like, I've always wanted to do annual passes. And she's like, we're close enough. It's a 6-hour drive. So let's do it. And we were in a place to do it. So we did it. And then they were expiring. And she's like, we got to go one last time.
Yeah.
We're going to just close out our passes because we knew we weren't going to renew them.
Yeah.
And so we did it. And she's like, all right, if this is the last time, do we do this? And we went back and forth on it. And it was me, my wife, and our 4 kids.
Okay.
So one of my kids usually has a DAS pass.
Okay.
He did have a DAS pass available for that trip.
Did or did not?
He did.
Okay.
We still opted to do it, even with the DAS pass. We talked it over and we weren't really sure. And I don't even remember all the reasonings to go into it. And that doesn't really matter. Let's talk about like how it came about, right?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of confusion at the outset. The cast members are more used to people having the other one that you have to make reservations for.
Yes.
So when you walk up to them and they're in the line with like a bunch of people behind them and you ask them questions, they're going to give you the regular Lightning Lane answer, not Premier Pass answer. Right?
Yeah.
So we asked a bunch of questions and like we shouldn't have asked questions. Like it was literally walk up, scan your app or your Magic Band, and it does it and you walk on.
Right.
It's just that simple, which was like really, 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 really cool once we figured it out. There's like a dedicated place in the app to go and like look which rides have it, which ones you have used, and which ones you haven't used.
Okay.
And I didn't know that for like the first like 2/3 of the day.
Oh, wow.
So that made it a little like we probably didn't totally optimize it there. But I've got like sort of like one of my kids is she would like rope drop to Goodnight Kiss. Like she wants to go.
Yeah.
And we did just about every single ride you can do with the Premier Pass.
Wow.
In both parks.
Wow.
In one day.
Oh my goodness.
And we took an afternoon break.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like we went back to the room for lunch and for like 2 hours and then went back to the park to close it out. And we did almost every single ride you can use it on. It was the most fun I've ever had with my kids on these. I don't do roller coasters.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I chased Jack down that roller coaster twice. And the second time, I'm just like, I don't like Jack and I don't like roller coasters. But it was fun being with my kids.
Yeah.
We got to do Space Mountain. The child who had the DAS pass, like it's just he doesn't want to sit in line for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this got around that for him. He also didn't have to waste time while his reservation came up. He could just go with us.
Yeah.
Even the smaller kid with the one with the anxiety, a lot of the times when you're sitting around bored, like that's when that sort of like brain starts attacking, right? And he didn't have to. He got to just sort of like go.
That's great.
He got to do rides that he wouldn't have ever been able to do, and he got to spend more times in the parks than he would have been able to do if he didn't do it. So it was a great time. I definitely would not do this every time.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I would do it like once a year, but if you want to have that experience of like, I just want to go, I want to do all of the stuff, that gives you an opportunity to do it. And the parks were crowded that day. Like it was, we went on our spring break, which I think coincides with California spring break time.
Yep.
And it was absolutely jam packed. And we did them all of them.
That's amazing. So you just walk up and use it. I thought you said that you did one ride twice. Is it, did you stand by once or?
We did stand by once. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
got it.
Like they want to do all the roller coasters. So like if we would find rides that like, especially as you get closer to park close, like Space Mountain would, have lesser wait times. And so we would go, I think the Incredicoaster was the one I mentioned twice. I did it on 2 different days. We only had the Premier Pass for one day. Right. And then the second day we just, we went in, I think early and just rushed to it or something. And the second time.
So for folks who are listening in and wondering what this Premier Pass thing is that we've been talking about for a few minutes, it is access to the Lightning Lanes, and you don't have to make reservations. You can do every ride with the Lightning Lane once. And it's not a little more expensive. It is more expensive.
Yes, at a premium cost.
At a premium cost
per person.
It's called the Premier Pass for a reason.
It was a lot, but if you want that experience, if you want to just say, hey, I don't want to worry about lanes, I want to go and I want to hit everything and just have like a great day, and you're in a position to do it, it will give you that experience.
Yeah.
And at Disneyland Resort, the Premier Pass covers both parks.
Both parks.
If you do this at Disney World in Florida, you get one park.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it costs different for each park.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be different, because like park hopping in Disneyland, it's like a 30-second jaunt.
Right, exactly. Well, cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
I'm glad it is easy. And it seems like if you are in a situation, like you said, if you have the means to do it and you're in a situation where you're like, we want to hit every single ride right now, sounds like it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
We're as we're sitting here recording, getting ready to go to Disneyland over our spring break. We have a bunch of days in the parks. It's going to be super busy. We're just there for the vibes and some food and just hanging out. We'll get some rides in, but it's not one of our top priorities. So it's just know what you're after for that given trip. So
Right. Yeah. Like at the end of that day, I was exhausted. The kids were like, Dad's going to do the rides. Let's go.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was exhausting. It was tiring. And like my kid came home and like her like makeup had drawn and she was like, best day ever. But so yeah, like if that is not the experience you want to have, don't do this thing. It is not worth it. But if that's what you want to go for, it will give you that.
there you have it.
I do miss the days I could do rope drop to goodnight kiss.
Yeah.
I cannot do that anymore.
No,
Yeah.
those days are past.
I have like 2 more years until she turns 18, and I'm just holding on for dear life at this point.
Good luck. Speaking of good luck, it is now time for Alicia's patented Disney torture test. So, good luck.
I'm warning you right now, getting straight answers out of me on this is going to be hard. I will try.
It's okay. This is covering everything under Mickey's umbrella: Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, and it's going to be your favorites.
Okay.
Who is your favorite Disney character?
Okay, so I have to go with Captain America.
Okay.
Nice.
I know like it's Marvel, so it's not like in the umbrella.
No, it is. It is under the umbrella. You're
But
good.
like talking about core memories in the theaters with my kids, like
Yeah.
I hope my next tattoo is going to be a Captain America shield on my left arm. It would be Captain America for me.
That's
Excellent.
awesome. Favorite movie?
Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna stay with Marvel on this again. Endgame. Endgame.
All
Like,
right.
Yeah, you can't-
so I got to go to Iron Man with my friends in college when it came out.
Yeah.
And I brought my kids to see Endgame. And I started crying 30 seconds into that movie. And the tears stayed the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like a real bonding experience with me and the rest of the family. So I'll go Endgame.
And that was a heck of a movie to see in a
Yes.
theater and have that group experience of all the reactions.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
when all of those little moments, and there's more than one,
Yeah.
when they happen, the crowd is cheering with you. Like it was a really unique experience.
Yeah. Yeah. The before times when people weren't afraid to go to a movie theater.
Favorite ride?
Okay, this is where you're not going to get a straight answer out of me. I will say honorable mention: Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot.
Okay.
Is probably the best ride I've ever been on. That ride is amazing. The engineers behind it who did it, like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Space Mountain probably takes for me. That is the ride for me.
In which park?
I haven't done the one in Florida in a hot minute, so I guess I'll say in tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Okay. I want to say Disney World.
Okay.
I think that's my answer, but I will say this. So we just had the annual passes to Disneyland, and I've been listening to like your recent episodes and a lot of people talking about how great Disneyland is. And like, I always have this feeling when I go to Disneyland, it's like, well, it's great, but it's like a mini Disney World.
Yeah.
I want the big Disney World thing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's like sort of like this like fatigue or like recency fatigue in my Disneyland experience that's like shading that for me. But I'll ignore that for now, and I'll say Disney World.
That's fair. That's fair.
Out of all the individual parks that you have been to, what is your favorite?
I mean, I gotta go with Epcot. Epcot's the one for me where it's like every time I go, I feel like I didn't touch the surface. Like it just there always feels like there is so much more to do at Epcot. Ask everybody. I think Magic Kingdom and Disney World is probably that for them. Like there's just so much to do there, and it is a jam-packed park. But for me, it's Epcot.
Favorite hotel?
Yeah, this is so hard.
This is the torture test.
Right? Okay, so the first trip we did, the one I did that like, turned me into the creature I have become, was at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
And boy, is that a gorgeous resort. It is so nice.
Yeah.
So nice. I've stayed at a lot of ones. Like, I don't like how far it is from things. Like, it's like Caribbean Beach, especially now with the skyline. Like, that's also a great one.
Yeah.
And the Grand Californian Hotel, like that is just a gorgeous place. Like that main lobby that just seems to go on forever. And
Yes.
there's like all these nooks and crannies, and there's so many good places to get food and drink. And you walk right into the parks from it. Like that is a gorgeous place. I'll probably say Animal Kingdom, but Grand Californian is a close second.
Okay.
Cool.
A few moments later.
Favorite DCL ship?
The Wish. Until I can say the Treasure. Like, I really think the Treasure is going to beat it for me. I love everything about the Wish. That we talked about the Rainforest Room. That thing's gorgeous. I love the layout. I think that the Marvel restaurant doesn't get as much love as I think it deserves, but I love the show, and I'm a big Marvel guy. And so when the special appearance happens, I'm like, oh, yay! So, yeah, it's the Wish. I think the Treasure will beat it. I wanted more out of the Star Wars bar. I wanted more.
Yes.
And I think the Treasure is going to give me more. I love the Haunted Mansion theming. I think is going to be great. My wife is big into Haunted Mansion, and like it's really struck its chord with me too. So I think the Treasure will beat it, but right now it's the Wish.
Okay.
All right.
Favorite restaurant?
Can I say Paulo? Like for me,
sure.
Like
Of
Paulo
course,
is
yeah.
absolutely it. Shout out to the restaurant Animal Kingdom Lodge though.
Chico?
No, the
Sanaa?
other one.
Sanaa?
Sanaa. Love Sanaa.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously get the bread service there. The naan and all of the sauces are delicious, but everything there is good.
Yes.
So shout out to Sanaa, but Paulo changed my life. I'll
Last one. Favorite Disney snack?
Ooh. Okay. I guess popcorn. It's just so great.
Yeah.
You've got this like butter flavored salt snack that's like everywhere. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta go like a
Smells so good
specific
on the
place to
bag.
get it.
Yeah.
It smells wonderful. It tastes wonderful. It's cheap. They have the most ridiculous popcorn buckets because they just got to get the extra few dollars out of you.
Right.
They make no sense. Like you look at those things and you're like, popcorn goes in that? Really? Okay. All right, cool. But
The
yeah,
decor.
I guess I'll say popcorn. And so to talk about how new I am in Disney, I think I've only ever had one churro. I've never had a turkey leg. And I don't think I've had a Mickey bar at the parks in a long time. So like I'm not a big snacker. Like don't like my advice is, take it with a grain of salt here, but I'll go popcorn.
No, that's fair. I have gotten to a point where I get great pleasure over the fact that I've had, of all the 16 plus cruises I've been on, I've only had soft serve ice cream once.
Oh yeah.
And the rest of my family is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm having old fashions at the bar is what I'm doing.
Exactly, yeah. I got on the first day and it was like, the line for the soft serve ice cream was out the back because it's the first day, and it's like chocolate vanilla swirl, and I was like, boring.
Yeah.
Next day it's blueberry, and then it's mango, and I'm like, all right, now I'll get in line. I'm there for some mango ice cream. We'll do that.
Excellent. Well, Andrew, you survived. Congratulations.
It was tough.
All right, so I think we know the answer to this question. We've hinted at it a little bit. What is next on your Disney itinerary?
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Treasure for my wife's 40th, but we're gonna fly in super early and we're gonna hit the parks for a few days before the boat. She's gonna get on her birthday, and then I think it's a 7-night concierge level on the Treasure, which I think is gonna ruin vacationing for me.
It will.
This is gonna.
What kind of room did you get?
We hesitated on switching to the room that had the floor to ceiling windows that are out front. Yeah. And the last one got snatched up before we switched to it. So we don't have that. We have one on the sides. I think it has a veranda, but I don't remember.
Yeah. The only ocean views in concierge are those forward facing rooms. Okay. You'll be okay. You'll slum it. But if you do get a chance, check back. Sometimes people cancel rooms.
Right.
Those ocean view concierge rooms are pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, we're getting real close to payoff date here. And like that's when people I think are going to start, do we really want to or not? So we're going to keep an eye out because I think as soon as it got snatched up, we were like, oh man, now we knew the decision we had. We should
now it's a definite oops.
Right.
And the concierge on the Wish class ships is going to spoil you forever.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You just have to save for next time.
We're doing Eastern Caribbean, so we're hitting islands we never hit before.
Nice.
That's the right choice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's. I I hear great things about them. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think we're hitting Lookout. I think we're only hitting Castaway, but I can be wrong about that.
Yeah. The Eastern Caribbean itinerary is typically Tortola, St. Thomas, and Castaway.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, yeah. But that sounds absolutely awesome. We'd love to have you on, hopefully with your wife next time if she's feeling a little. Hopefully she'll be feeling a little better. We'll make sure she's feeling a little better. Yeah, we'd love to have you back on and hear all about that birthday cruise later on this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this has been a blast.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Remember, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. These are personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube.
Also, please give us a rating and review in your podcast app. That really helps people find us.
Of course, do not hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.